Hello everyone and welcome to episode 3 of Real Trends, third one of this series I'm creating, and I'd like to thank everyone for their support so far. I am your host. Did I say Real Trends? I can't remember. Hello everyone and welcome to Real Trends. I am your host, Geoff Exstrom. Video number 3 of this series, and I'd like to thank everyone for their support so far. We're starting to get more into it, getting better at Adobe Premiere and Adobe After Effects, really cool graphics I've been able to make. So really excited about where this series is going and where it is right now. I'd like to thank everyone, whether they were just viewing it, subscribing, commenting, or just liking the post. I'd like to thank everyone for their support so far. It's been really cool to do it so far this summer, and glad that everyone is enjoying it. So with that under our belt, let's get right into it. The box office results for Father's Day weekend. And now the box office results for Father's Day weekend, June 14th, landing in the number 1 spot. It was expected. It was Men in Black International. It bombed, though. Hard to believe it did even worse than Dark Phoenix. They came in with $30 million. The film starring Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson was not able to bring in the big bucks. The studio was expecting between 50 and 55 million, and they came way short. The sequels and reboots are bombing at the box office. We'll get to more of that later. But Men in Black International, number 1 on this week's box office results. At number 2 is going to be The Secret Life of Pets 2, starring Patton Oswalt, Harrison Ford. That came in with $24 million. It did drop over 47% of what it earned a week ago when it came up with $49 million, but still making a profit nonetheless. Coming in at number 3 is going to be Aladdin, a live feature film by Disney, raked in $17 million. This week they got $24 million. A week ago they do drop 30% of their profits, but I think it's still holding strong. It's still number 3. They're in the top 3 for the 3rd straight week. They've been doing pretty solid, consistent at the box office, so I would say probably another successful week for Aladdin. They're at number 3. At number 4 is Rocket Man. After a $25 million opening weekend, they dropped to $13 million last week, but now they dropped to $9 million. They are in at number 4. They dropped 30%, but still holding strong. The John Elton biopic still doing well in theaters. Jamie Bell, Taron Egerton. Still need to see it soon. It's doing well at the box office, good reviews. They're at number 4. Then coming in at number 5 is Dark Phoenix, the finale of this Fox's X-Men series of films. It was the biggest drop of the week. They're all the way in 5th with $9.3 million. Last week they came in the box office number 2, with $32 million. That's an over 70% drop, one of the biggest you'll ever see on the market. And wow, I think it was one of those situations where you had the loyal fans that felt obligated to go see the movie in its opening weekend last week, and now you start to see the casual fans. The difference between the hardcore and the casual fans. And there aren't many casual fans for Dark Phoenix, and it's obviously, you could tell through the box office results. They dropped to 5th, $9 million, one of the biggest drops you'll ever see, and one of the biggest disappointments so far this summer for the box office. And now my box office thoughts for this past weekend. Instead of doing kind of recapping what's happened this weekend, we're going to do something a little different. The theme of this year so far, 2019, has been the fact that all these reboots and sequels have been terrible. They've bombed at the box office, bombed on reviews, they've just done horrible. So I decided to do a little research. And this research included looking up what these reboots and sequels that released so far this year in 2019, what their domestic box office opening weekend results were. There's 13 films. We only took the reboots or sequels of major blockbuster films or their notable films that came out. We took those 13 films I'm going to show on screen right now. Those are the films that I researched. So I took the opening weekend domestic box office result and compare that to its predecessor or original film that it was a reboot of. And I calculated up the difference across all 13 films, and that came out to a total gross net of a negative $167.67 million total. And you could tell just through the trend that sequels and reboots are not doing well. They haven't so far this year, and I decided not to do a longer research piece, but it's been that way for a little bit. Sequels and reboots have been falling apart. And when you look at it too, the 13 films of total, only 4 was able to make a profit, and those were those of John Wick, How to Train Your Dragon, Aladdin, and Glass that came out in January. So not many films have made a profit in sequels and reboots, and those are the only 4 to do it. They've really been struggling, and there's a few reasons why. One is simply they just aren't good movies. Some of these reboots are just not good at all. Hellboy, the new reboot that came out, was just absolutely trashed. Men in Black International fell really, really short this weekend. Some say it was kind of drastic in terms of comparing to the old films. The reboot was not too good. It had good potential, but it just fell flat. The X-Men series was just... the actors soon to kind of turned it in terms of they really gave up, some of them did, and the fact that the story wasn't too well. So a lot of those films were just plain out bad. But another reason is the fact that we have streaming so widely available. With all these reboots and sequels coming on, why take perspective of a casual moviegoer? Why risk paying $15 a ticket to go to the movie theater and risk not enjoying the reboots of a franchise that you so dearly love or like? Instead, pay the couple of dollars it takes to rent the already established previous films that you know and love. Take it, for example, Men in Black. Why go and waste $15 on a movie that has really bad reviews? Just stay home, get some popcorn, spend a couple bucks of renting some of the first 3 Men in Black movies that you know are good and you like. So I think those are a couple of really big reasons why these sequels are doing really bad. And Hollywood, there's just a lot of them coming out. It's either superhero, reboot, sequel, or animated movies. The diversity in films have really cut down in Hollywood so far, and I think that's really part of the reason why some of these box office results have been the way they have. And that's kind of my rant on the reboots and sequels so far. I hope you enjoyed that part. Now on to what's coming out this next weekend. And now the 2 big releases for this weekend, June 21st. The headliner are going to be Toy Story 4. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, the big headliners for that one. It was kind of unexpected. Pixar was not expected to come out with a Toy Story 4.
It's the most important toy to Bonnie right now. We all have to make sure nothing happens to him.
Very
Woody, we have a
franchise that touched the hearts of so many people and made an impact in so many people's lives that they didn't think they were going to make another one. But they did, and it was one of those things where they finally decided to make one because they...
I am not a toy. I was made for soup, salad, maybe chili, and then the trash.
Buzz, we've got to get Forky. Affirmative.
Reviews have been outstanding, and it's gonna be an emotional roller coaster.
What do we do, Buzz?
What would Woody do?
Jump out of a moving vehicle?
Let's go.
You gotta go, you gotta go.
You should ever leave me.
You know, you've handled this lost toy life better than I could.
Open your eyes, Woody. There's plenty of kids out there.
In its opening weekend, and I expect to be near that. The reviews have been really good, but I think it's gonna be cut down just a little. I think it'll be around 155 million opening weekend, just for the fact you still got Aladdin, Secret Life of Pets 2. You still got a couple of those, not animated, but kind of PG films that are going to cut a little into those profits, but it's going to be one of the biggest successes of this year's summer's box office results for Toy Story 4. Well, that's going to wrap things up for this episode of Real Trends. I'd like to thank everyone for their support so far. Let me know in the comments still if you'd like me to do a movie review of any movies you saw this weekend. I'm hoping to see Toy Story 4. Really good reviews, like I said before, so it'll be sad though. So I'm excited though. It'll be very, very interesting to see. But that will conclude things here. Of course, every Wednesday, new video. Stick with us, and thank you so much for joining me here today. This has been Real Trends. I'm your host, Geoff Exstrom, and until next time, see you later.